Cocktail aficionados, it's John Moser with another edition of Cocktails Out of Quarantine. So listen, I was asked last weekend to do a presentation to some Ashland University alumni, specifically alumni of the Ashbrook Scholar Program. If you don't know about that, do a Google for it. Ashbrook Scholars, a terrific program. So there were some alumni in town, and I was asked to give a presentation on cocktails. And because the overall theme of the weekend was Winston Churchill, I was asked to show how to make some Churchill-type cocktails. The problem with that is Churchill didn't really like cocktails. His rule was, my tastes are simple, I want the best of everything. And that meant straight booze. He was a huge fan of scotch. He was a huge fan of brandy, cognac in particular. He wasn't so much interested in cocktails. He didn't like mixing anything with his booze. There's a great story. FDR liked to mix martinis, but Churchill didn't like his martinis because there was too much vermouth. In fact, any vermouth was too much. So he came up with what he called the Churchill martini, which was you pour some gin in a glass and you drink it while looking across the room at a bottle of vermouth. All right, big fun. Anyway, there are some cocktails that have been named for Churchill. I made one with scotch, and I don't much care for scotch. I thought maybe this would be okay. I didn't like it. But there's another one called the Spitfire. Didn't exist when Churchill was alive. It was invented in 2006 by Tony Conigliaro, who's a British bartender and writer who's written multiple books on the subject of cocktails. Anyway, this is a fantastic drink. It's a take on a brandy sour. So just like a whiskey sour, but with brandy instead of whiskey. But it also has some additional tastes. Some peach in it, and also some dry white wine, which gives it a really interesting dimension. Let me show you what you're going to need in order to make this drink. First of all, brandy. No, Churchill would only want the good stuff, but we don't need the really top shelf stuff. We're making cocktails here. This is Corbel. It's inexpensive. It's not awful. It'll work just fine. Trust me. Crème de pêche. This can be a little bit difficult to get hold of. It's a peach liqueur. If you can't, peach schnapps is going to work just fine. There's just a little bit in there, and it gives it really a nice little zing. We are going to use simple syrup. This is a 2-to-1 mix. That is 2-to-1 sugar to water. That will sweeten it up nicely. And a dry white wine. The recipe I found calls for a Sauvignon Blanc. This is a Sauvignon Gris. It's delicious. I had some last night, but my wife and I left a little in the bottle so I could make a cocktail with it. And finally, lemon juice, because what is lemon juice? Well, what is a sour without something to make it sour, namely lemon juice? And there's one more thing I'm going to use. This is not egg white. It's called Fee Foam. It's from Fee Brothers. It is a substitute for egg white. Why do we use egg white in a drink? It doesn't really add anything to the taste, but it gives the drink a really nice creamy texture. And so, use an egg white if you want, but if you are squeamish, as many people are, about having raw egg white, this is a non-egg alternative, and you just need a few dashes of this, and you will have the same effect as if you had used an egg white. Anyway, those are all the ingredients you need. Let's make the drink. So the first thing you're going to need to remember in making this is, because we are using an egg white substitute, you would do this if it was egg white also, you don't want to have any ice in the shaker to start with. That's because we're going to shake it really well to emulsify it. Then we will add the ice later. And we will start with 2 ounces. 2 ounces. It's getting really hard to read the marks on this. 2 ounces of brandy, which we follow up with an ounce of fresh lemon juice. I will easily get that out of this one rather juicy lemon. put the measuring device here. There we go. Ounce of lemon juice, 3/4 of an ounce of crème de pêche, or if you're using peach schnapps, that will work just as well. And finally, 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. And now, like 3 or 4 dashes of fee foam, or an egg white. You probably don't even need a whole egg white if you're going to use egg white. Seal it, and we are going to shake this really vigorously. And the longer we shake, the better the result is going to be, in the sense that we're going to have a creamier head. Well, I'm not going to make you sit and watch me keep shaking this, but I'll be back in a second. Okay, I have been shaking this for a good long time. Now we open it and then add ice. And we are not going to shake this for very long. We just want to get it chilled. That should be good. And pour it in a glass. Look at that nice creamy texture. And we will garnish with a lemon wheel. Just like so. I present the Spitfire. I think Churchill would be pleased with it. Delicious. I love the effect that this fee foam has on it. The texture, it's really hard for me to explain. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you will give the Spitfire a try. And until next time, cheers.